Hey, tribe, welcome back. This is the new ASWB exam 2023 question format with 3 answer choices of A, B, and C. Also, RayTube number 26, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's jump into it. A social worker meets with a client who is court ordered to attend anger management sessions. The client reports that he does not want to attend the anger management sessions as he believes the sessions will be a waste of time. What is the best way for the social worker to engage the client? A, focus on establishing a therapeutic relationship. B, remind the client of the consequences of not participating in services due to being court ordered. Or C, encourage the client to share his concerns with the court to see if there's an alternative to attending the anger management sessions. So, as always, pause the video, reread through the question, reread through the answer choices, select your best answer, unpause the video, and then we'll jump into the explanation. Okay, if you picked A, you are correct. Why? So, just to kind of recap a bit, a social worker meets with a client who is court ordered to attend anger management sessions. The client reports that he does not want to attend the anger management sessions as he believes the sessions will be a waste of time. What is the best way for the social worker to engage the client? So, when we're looking at this question, right, and any question for that matter, pay attention to your thought process. And again, when we're doing practice questions, it's good to hear the rationale and even saying it out loud for yourself to see what kind of makes sense as far as, where did you get to this point? How did you arrive at the answer choice that you selected versus the other answer choices? And people usually are able to get down to those last two, whether it's 4 answer choices or in this case, 3 answer choices. And it's like, remember, all the answer choices can sound good and even be something that we would realistically do, but pay attention to the factors that's influencing the question and what the question is literally asking, which is that last sentence. So in this case, what is the best, meaning out of A, B, and C? What is the best way for the social worker to engage the client? So the question is asking, as the social worker, given these circumstances of the context of the question, everything before the very last sentence, given, this context, all these factors, what is the best way for the social worker, the professional, to engage the client? So, again, be mindful of what the question is asking. The question is asking, what is the best way for the social worker to engage the client? AKA, out of A, B, and C, what option would allow the social worker to engage the client in the best possible way? And that would be A, focus on establishing the therapeutic relationship. This is correct. Why? What is the purpose and some of the components of establishing a therapeutic relationship with the client? And some of them here listed are building trust, connection, understanding, expectations for services, identify boundaries, empathy, aka you set the stage to provide services. And also in the social work helping process, this is the engagement stage, right? Your first meeting with the client, and you want to set the stage, right? If you think about when should we establish the therapeutic relationship? As soon as possible, first contact, right? And if you guys have any experience working with clients that just don't want to necessarily be there to receive services, maybe they're mandated, like in this case, or whatever the case may be, we want to engage them and, just kind of meet the client where they're at, the social work principle of meeting them where they're at, right? And something we would say would be, example, hey, I understand. It sounds like you would rather spend your time doing something else than being here. Since you are here, I'm wondering if we can talk for a bit. It seems like you have a lot on your mind, right? Just sounding very opening, very comforting, meeting the client where they're at, acknowledging that, oh, I really don't want to be here type of feeling. You want to be the client, you want the client to feel safe, comfortable, and actually want to open up to you. You can implement techniques such as active listening, validating, exhibiting desirable facial expressions, reframing, etc., to assist in this process as well. So these are some of the interventions. Remember, interventions are the things that the social worker actually does, not just a therapy technique or anything. It's the things that the social worker is actually doing, such as techniques of active listening, validating, exhibiting desirable facial expressions, reframing, etc. So that's why that would be the correct answer, because it actually addresses what the question is asking of what is the best way for the social worker to engage the client. When we look at B, remind the client of the consequences of not participating in services due to being court ordered. This is incorrect. Why? You catch more flies with honey than vinegar. So with this approach is engaging the client with vinegar of the consequence. The social worker just met the client and it's clear that the client doesn't want to be there. Reminding the client of the consequences of leaving / not participating in services can occur at some point, but the question is asking, remember that last sentence, because we may think like, oh, wait a second, Ray, isn't it important to remind the client of the consequences? Yes, 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 yes. But what is the question asking? Which is, what is the best way for the social worker to engage the client? And engaging them with the vinegar might not be the best way out of answer choices A, B, and C. And then when we look at answer choice C, encourage the client to share his concerns with the court to see if there's an alternative to attending the anger management sessions. This is incorrect. Why? Again, this step could come later, but this is more vinegar of, hey, take it up with them type of thing, right? The question is asking, what is the best way for the social worker to engage the client? And I'm putting that there where it's like, oh, it sounds like a broken record. Pay attention to what the question is asking and keeping in mind the context of what came before that very last question, of like the details within the question that's going to influence the question, the answer choice, such as the age of the client, their behavior, just like all those other factors, right? But again, this question is asking out of A, B, and C, what is the best way to engage the client? And when we go a bit more, what is the best way to engage someone? Telling them that they will get in trouble if they don't do something, telling them to take their issue up with insert authority figure here, or meeting that person where they are at, emotional state, and establishing a rapport with them. Out of A, B, and C, because just kind of like changing around, but pretty much saying what each of them is, right? Like, because you're meeting them with the vinegar or just actually meeting them where they're at. Out of these answer choices, I would say meeting that person where they are at, their whatever that emotional state is. And for the gentleman in this vignette, this question, it sounds like, again, they don't want to be here. They're mandated to be here. The judge said like, hey, you gotta be here. And it's like, I really don't want to be here. As a social worker and they're our client, we want to meet them where they're at and say like, I feel you. I feel you. Showing that empathy, right? Like, I feel you. But you're here anyway. Let's talk a bit, right? And that's the best way to engage a client, given the context of this situation and exactly what the question is asking. Okay, tribe, that's it for today's video. Again, that was RayTube practice question number 26. Again, you know how I always say, doing at least 2 practice questions a day helps keep the exam anxiety at bay. If you don't already have one, make sure you get a study buddy. You can put it in the comment section below. If you're currently in university and you want to, ask one of your fellow classmates, like, hey, I know you're possibly studying for this exam. Do you want to study together and just kind of, discuss the material that we've been tuning into, just so that we can really understand, what's going on and how to answer these questions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a social work friend, because we don't want to be licensed by ourselves. All right, tribe, that was my first official video of 2023 and more content to come. So again, hit that subscribe button, tune in the notifications so we know when I drop a new video, and we got this. All right, tribe, I'll see you next video.